Merv, you ready?
Ready.
All right, we'll have the meeting called to order. If we would, we'll have a prayer by our county manager, Merv Waldrop, and the pledge of allegiance by Commissioner Tommy Nix.
Let us pray. Father, we want to thank you for this Christmas season as it reminds us of your coming into the world to bring peace, to bring hope, and to joy. We ask your blessing on this board and on our community. Ask for your wisdom on the board and all the decisions that are made here tonight. That'll be done for the betterment of our community. We ask this in Christ's name. Amen.
Amen.
Everybody stand.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, first item on the agenda tonight is approval of the minutes of the meetings on November the 9th, 10th, and 29th. Can I get a motion?
I'll make a motion we approve the minutes for November 9th, 10th, and 29th.
All in favor? It's unanimous, Merv. The next item on the agenda is a presentation of a plaque honoring Miss Laverne Cello for 17 years of service. Up next, we'll have bid openings. First item is cleaning chemicals.
We have a bid tabulation in front of you, but for the cleaning chemicals, there are a lot of products on there. We'll list out the names of the companies, and we'll do a comparison for the Finance Committee for tomorrow's meeting. So the first one is S&S. We'll just note whether they've bid every item or not. There are about 50 items on this list, so it appears they've given us a price for each item that we've requested. Second, Associated Paper, and they appear to have given us a price on each item as well. And Camo is the third bidder. It looks like they've given us prices on every item, or most of all the items. They may have missed one or two. But those are the three bidders for the cleaning supplies.
Okay, what time tomorrow's Finance Committee meeting?
How you looking, all right? What, 4 o'clock time?
4 or 5?
4 good meeting.
4 o'clock?
4 o'clock tomorrow.
All right.
Yeah, 4 o'clock.
Okay, next item on the agenda is HVAC maintenance contract.
All right, we have two bidders on this one. C.D. White is the first bidder. Let's see if we got a total price. Yes. Their total for HVAC contract, maintenance contract for the year would be $51,320. CD White, $51,320. Second bid, both of these were sealed and didn't have it on the outside of the envelope. So the second one is Rowell Heating and Air. Their bid price for the total for the year is $74,110. $74,110 for Rowell Heating and Air. And that's the only bids we have on the HVAC contract.
Okay, next item for bid is inmate medical service bid.
We have 3 bidders on this item. First one is Southern Correctional Medicine out of Waycross. They've got an annual fee of $225,600. $225,600. And that's Southern Correctional. $225,600. Next bid is Keys Medical Staffing. They have a total bid of $274,500. $274,500. And the last one is Southern Health Partners. This looks like annual price of $231,420. That's Southern Health Partners, $231,420.
That it, Murph?
That's it.
Next item, bid opening is janitorial services for the law enforcement center.
We have 5 bidders on this one. First bid is Cook's Janitorial Services. Their bid, and this is a monthly quote, is $4,893.88. $48.93.88. That's Cook's Janitorial Service. All right. Second one is Easter Seals East of Georgia, and that's the one we had under Julia Gintz. And their price, is they've given one with supplies and without supplies. Their with supplies price is $3,472. Their monthly price, $3,472. Next one is Jan Pro. Their monthly price is $1,560. Jan Pro Cleaning, $1,560 per month. Next one's Jana King of Augusta. You're gonna make me look for it. Get the last page. Their price, let's see, it doesn't say the frequency, it says $463. And that is what they bid, $463. And I'm assuming it's per month, but it may be per week. We'll have to get in and read the fine print. All right. And the last one is Complete Solutions Cleaning Services out of Augusta. And theirs is $5,000 per month. Complete Solutions, $5,000 per month.
All right, next item up for bid opening is a 4x4 pickup for the sheriff's office.
All right. Yeah, the only bid we've gotten is Ginn Motors. Their bid on the 4x4 truck, let's see here, it's $41,766. Ginn Motors, $41,766.
Herb, what kind of truck is that?
Let's see what they did. $1,500 tradesman crew cab. It's a Dodge.
You say that's just got one bid?
Just one bid on that one.
All right, the next bid is for a police pursuit SUV.
And this is also from Ginn Motors. Their bid price is $36,845. $36,845. Let's see.
That's a SUV, it's supposed to be SUV.
Yeah, Durango. 22 Durango pursuit vehicle.
Just one bid on that, Murph?
Just one bid on that one.
Okay, the next bid
And on
opening
the
is,
sedan
yeah, police
is
pursuit.
also from Ginn Motors. Their price is $35,641. $35,641.
And that is the Charger.
And that one, let's see what they're saying. see it right off the bat. Yeah, we'll get that answer for you by the Finance Committee tomorrow.
Okay. Next on the agenda is request for rezoning, Mr. George Evans from A1 to R3 on a portion of parcel number 100-014.
Commissioners, Mr. George Evans is asking for rezoning of a part of a 2-acre parcel on 7 Oaks Road. He's wanting to develop a duplex on this parcel and cut a portion, 2 acres off of his property that's a much larger tract to build a duplex on it. The public hearing was held by the Planning Commission. There was no opposition, and the Planning Commission has recommended approval of this rezoning from A1 to R3.
I make a motion that we approve the request for rezoning for George Evans from A1 to R3 on parcel 100-014.
Second.
All in favor? It's unanimous, Murphy. Next on the agenda is a request for rezoning for Mr. George Evans from A1 to R1 on portions of parcel number 100B as in boy, -055B as in boy.
This one also is a request from Mr. Evans. He would like to clear up some of the deed work in the area. It's right across the road from the previous rezoning. There are a number of parcels that he's sold in the past, and the yard extends onto his property, and he's wanting to go ahead and deed the additional property to these parcels to be able to combine it with the previous property. His bigger parcel is zoned A1. So in order to combine the parcels so that they're all zoned R1, they're asking for rezoning of these portions that he would be transferring to the previous owners in order to get each of those acre parcels zoned all consistently R1. He would retain ownership of the remaining parcel, which would still be agriculture. And this may be a little confusing, that the map helps you to see. It's like a portion. What's happened is when he sold the property, the people that bought it, and most of it was family property, so it didn't matter that much. But they had outbuildings back behind it. It wasn't clear where the survey line. Once they surveyed the property, they realized, oh, we don't own as much as we think we own. So he's wanting to get that cleared up so that the outbuildings will go with the residence that's in front of it. And so in order to make sure that it's zoned properly and that all the when you replat the parcels, that it's all in the same zoning, he's requested to go from A1 to R1 on those portions that are going to be combined with the previous parcels. Public hearing was held. There was no opposition. The Planning Commission has recommended approval.
I'll make a motion that we approve going from A1 to R1 on portions of parcel 100B-055B.
Second.
All in favor? Unanimous, Murphy. Next on the agenda is a request from the Development Authority to provide a temporary stipend to the office manager.
The Development Authority has made a request. It was on the agenda last month and tabled. The request was to increase the compensation for the office manager in the Development Authority by $1,500 per month. The question that had come up, what did the board do previously when there was a vacancy? The Development Authority did ask for a $1,500 one-time stipend or supplement to that salary for that office, for the office manager. And the board granted the $1,500 one time. This would be $1,500. The request is $1,500 per month until the position is filled. And you may have some questions about it. I know you probably have been contacted by Development Authority members.
Anybody got any questions on this?
If there are no questions, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that we, until we get someone to go over the Development Authority to give her $1,500 a month until we find a director over the Development Department. And once we get that person, then the stipend will be cut.
I'll second the motion.
All in favor?
Before you vote, I just want to make one comment. Realize this does set a precedent. We have two other departments that have vacant positions, and so their assistants are going to be coming asking for the same treatment. I just want you to be aware of that before you vote.
All opposed? 2 and 2, Murray. Did.
So the motion does not pass.
Next on the agenda, first reading of ordinance 22-01, amending the speed limit regulations on county roads.
Back several months ago, we revised our speed limit ordinance. After that revision, the board, I guess it kind of opened up your eyes to see what other roads in the county might need some changes in the speed limits. And so at a Public Works Committee meeting, about 4 different roads were suggested for additions to that. In order to change the speed limits on those roads, it requires going back and amending the ordinance. But we've highlighted in the ordinance for you the speed limit changes. One is Idlewood Road. Let's see the others. One's Jack DeLagle Road. One's Johnson Road. And the other is Spring Branch Church Road. And these would be reduced to 45 miles an hour. This would be first reading, and if adopted, we put it on the agenda in January for final approval.
Is there a motion?
I make a motion that we approve the ordinance.
I'll second.
All in favor? It's unanimous, Murray. Next on the agenda is a resolution supporting a reform of Georgia annexation dispute process.
The Association of County Commissioners of Georgia is going to be asking the General Assembly to amend its annexation dispute law in the state. As we have seen recently, that the law is confusing and does not have a lot of teeth. It's not clear what happens. The county can lodge an objection to the annexation, but it's not clear what happens after that, whether the city, once we let them know, they don't have to act on our objection. So what the ACCG is asking for each county to adopt a resolution encouraging members of the General Assembly to look at this legislation. One of the things they're going to propose is that DCA act as a referee or a gatekeeper for dispute and to serve as a mediator for that process. But if you'd like to see want to support this reform in the annexation dispute law, then you would pass this resolution.
I make a motion that we approve the resolution supporting reform to the annexation dispute process.
Second.
All in favor? It's unanimous, Murray. Next on the agenda is the adoption of language access plan for CDBG programs.
As part of the Community Development Block Grant Program, the counties and cities who receive those funds need to adopt a language access plan to make sure that information about the grant program is available to all the citizens in our community. In the past, we have had a language access plan. They are asking us, the DCA is asking us to update that plan to reflect changes in our community. There have been very few changes as far as demographics go, but they wanted us to document that. So this updated language access plan documents it. We have a small number of non-English speakers in the community, not enough to warrant duplication of information automatically, but if upon request, so that's what our plan says, upon request, we would make information available in the language that would be required and would have interpreters available upon request. But in order to continue with our CDBG program on the boxing club, we need to update our language access plan.
I make a motion, Mr. Chairman, we update our language CDBG program.
I'll second.
All in favor? Unanimous, Murphy. Next on the agenda is reorganization of the Recreation Department.
This is an item that has come up in the past. Want to bring it back up to the board to consider moving the maintenance positions out of the Recreation Department and putting them under the Facility Maintenance Office. That way they could more efficiently use that staff to maintain the buildings throughout the county, facilities throughout the county. Also, the facility maintenance staff would be able to more efficiently assist the rec department maintaining their fields and buildings. Right now, there are currently 3 positions that are filled in that. There are 3 vacant positions in there, and we think that through combination of the departments, there'll be some efficiencies. We might be able to not have to fill all those 3 vacant positions. But so what I'm asking for, right now we have these 6 positions listed under the Recreation Department. I'm asking the board to move those 6 positions over to Facility Maintenance Department.
Now, Mr. Chairman, I'm totally disagree with that because the Recreation Department has time to go out and service all the other area parks and maintain the facility and the why. And when other incidents come up out there that they need to do, somebody's gonna suffer. But if we let them, and they know what they need to do out there at the Recreation Department, the other maintenance guy, he focuses on other things. The Recreation Department, they focus on maintaining the park, maintaining all these areas that they have to go out and cut grass at. These other parks we got all over the county. My opinion, it would be best to let it stay where it is.
Merv, is the employees that's still employed out there, they will still be doing maintenance, right?
Yes, sir. They would still keep their jobs, same salaries, same benefits. They'd just be, instead of under a recreation director, which is a vacant position now, it would be under facility maintenance director.
And all the work that's getting done now will still be getting done.
Yes, sir.
And ain't nobody gonna lose their jobs.
That's correct.
Do I hear a motion?
Mr. Robert, I asked, you have any thoughts on it? But again, they're not talking about changing any staff or just supervision. I mean, I don't. Thank you, sir. I'll make a motion that we reorganize that under facilities maintenance.
I'll second.
All in favor? All opposed? 3 in favor, 1 opposed, Murph. Next on the agenda, approval of modification of the warehouse project plans.
At our last meeting, the board discussed awarding the contract awarding the contract for the warehouse project. Part of that discussion was a request from the sheriff's office to move or to adjust the project so as not to have to impact the office that extends out of Warehouse 1. We discussed it with the architect, and one of the options would be to relocate the whole project down, instead of using warehouses 2 and 3, move it down to 4 and 5. Would have no impact on the cost of the project. If you want to do that, we can move down to those two units. What we'd like to do, though, is make clear that units 2 and 3 don't get filled back up with stuff that we're going to have to move out eventually. So we need to keep those still clear for future development. But we are willing to move down to 4 and 5 if that's what the board wants to do.
Mr. Chairman, I understand that, but if you can easily drive a vehicle out of there, so if we need to use one of those other warehouses for something else, we can do it. I mean, I think we need to be able to do it. I mean, if, say for instance, if the sheriff department want to put a lot of those vehicles that they, or whoever want to put something in there, that way that the vehicles that need to be where they seize them, all they got to do is drive them out.
Well, I think the problem's been, there's been a dumping zone for everybody's stuff, or whatever, but that ain't really part of the motion. That's just something we need to consider moving forward, right? Or,
Well, only thing I'm saying is, why let this place stay idle when some of the department here could use it? That's my opinion. Because that's all I'm saying. If that space is available, it's more suitable to use it than let it sit there for 4 or 5 years and some other department need it. That's my way of thinking.
Mr. Commissioner, I may agree with you on that, but I think somebody should clear that with management before they go and start using a facility. They need to ask before.
I agree. Look,
okay.
I totally agree.
We're on the same page. All right.
I totally agree.
Murray, what's the reasoning for not doing 3 and 4 versus 4 and 5?
There is a vault that's used for the fire service for those, that's in one of those units, and we would have to relocate and readjust that. So it's better to move down to 4 and 5 than have to deal with that fire vault.
Okay.
but eventually we won't have to deal with it.
Right, eventually, or we design a project that includes that fire vault without having to, it uses less office space in one of those.
Okay, so do we all here tonight have the understanding that if we go to 4 and 5, 2 and 3 is still be available for a future project, and no matter who's in there, they have to get out? Is that correct? Is that what we're saying?
That's what we're suggesting.
Okay.
All right, I'll make a motion that we move down to warehouse 4 and 5 for the plans for the tax commissioner and planning and zoning.
Second.
All in favor? It's unanimous, Murray. Next on the agenda is approval for proposed local redistricting maps.
Commissioners, we have discussed having a work session, or we'll advertise as a call meeting so we'll be able to vote, but to discuss this more thoroughly, and we've got that meeting set for next Wednesday at 4 o'clock. And we'll probably meet in the training room so we can pull the maps up on the screen and be able to see. And hopefully we can get some assistance from the state reapportionment office to be able to look at different options.
Okay, we'll just table this to December 22nd at 4 p.m.
That's right.
Okay. All right, next on the agenda is filling expired terms on the library board.
The end of the month, 2 terms on the library board expire. Karen Reeves and Mike Searle's terms both end at the end of December. Both have been very active members and are willing to serve another term on the library board.
I'll make a motion that we reappoint Mike Searles and Karen Reeves, library board.
Second.
Both of them willing to serve again, Murph?
Yes.
All in favor? It's unanimous. Next on the agenda is filling an unexpired term on the DFAX board.
It's with sadness that we have to announce that Sam Cummins passed away about 2 weeks ago, week and a half ago. And he had been very active in many areas in the community, and one of the places he had served was on the DFAX board. You may not be ready because it was a shock to all of us, but we do need to find a individual, hopefully that would serve, do half as much the work that Sam Cummins did, would still be as good a good member on that DFAX board.
Have we had anybody show an interest?
We have not, although it's still, it's just the news still.
Could we
fresh.
table that the next month?
We can table that the
Okay.
next month.
Thank you,
But
sir.
the board can, be trying to look for somebody that
Okay.
might show special interest in the concerns dealing with children's issues or the needy in the community.
Okay then.
Okay, we'll table that the next month. Next on the agenda is fill an expired position on the United Development Authority.
Right, this Unified Development Authority is a regional authority made up of all the counties in the CSRA. In the past, we've had two positions. One has always been the development director, which there's a vacancy now because of Molly Olson's moving to Virginia, but also Ashley Roberts has been serving on that board. Her term ends at the end of December. She is eligible to be reappointed and has been an active member on that board if you want to reappoint her.
I make a motion we reappoint Ashley.
I second.
All in favor? Unanimous, Murph. Next on the agenda is approval of contract for RCN contracting for the renovation of the EMA headquarters building.
Last month, we awarded the bid for the EMA headquarters renovation to RCN as they were the low bidder on the project. We asked them to come back with some savings for the project. They've presented us with $35,000 in some modifications that would save us money on the contract without compromising the project. So what we're asking for is the board's approval of a contract for $714,189 to renovate the EMA headquarters.
Can I get a motion?
I'll make a motion that we approve the request.
Second.
All in favor? It's unanimous, Murph. Next on the agenda is approval of a task order for Maze Air for the design and building services for T-hangars, taxi lanes, and site work at the airport.
On this project, has been in our plans for a number of years. In our capital improvements program, it is listed as a project we're going to do in the next 2 years. We got a call about 2 weeks ago from DOT indicating that they had some additional revenue and they wanted to spend it on local airports in Georgia. They wanted to know if anybody was ready and could be ready to have this project out to bid and under contract by the end of, by July 1st. So we've told them we're ready and they know that we can deliver projects. We've been good about getting projects designed and bid out, so they trust us and they keep coming back to us for projects. So this first one is to develop T-hangars at the airport. The design work for that, the cost would be $93,000. Our portion, I found out, is not 25%, it's 5%. So we'd have about $4,000 worth of expense that we could use out of our T-SPLOST funds to match the state and federal money on this project. And the question would be, do you want to authorize Maze Hour to do the design work for the T-hanger project?
I make a motion we use them for doing our project for our T-hangers out at the airport.
I second the motion.
All in favor? Unanimous, Mayor. Next on the agenda is approval of task order for Maze Air for the design and bidding services for airport perimeter security / wildlife fencing.
This is another project we had in our capital improvements plan for a future year 3 or 4. The state has indicated they've got funds for it, and would provide security, but more than anything, it provides protection from wildlife. We've had issues with wildlife at the airport, and this would help us try to eliminate, the control. It won't eliminate the deer from getting out there, but it will help reduce the number and make the airport a safer place to operate. The cost for the design work for the design and bidding would be $63,000. Our share would be about $3,000 of that, based on federal and state paying the majority of it. We would need an approval, if you want to proceed, to issue the task order to Maze Hour.
I make a motion, we approve it.
I second.
All in favor? It's unanimous, Mayor. Next on the agenda, request from Burke County Relay for Life for waiver of rental fees for an event at the office park.
Relay for Life is becoming more active again than the past. They had been very active in our community, and there are a good number of volunteers that want to see this program start back up. They raise funds for cancer research, which is much needed. One of the projects is fundraising projects that they want to have is a Kickoff Gala. They've contacted the office park. The facility is available. They'd like to have an event on February 26th. They're asking for the board to waive the fees, considering this is a fundraiser for the Relay for Life, which does cancer research. They are a certified 501c3 organization, nonprofit organization.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we waive the fee for the Relay for Life.
And this includes them doing the cleanup, though, right, Murray?
Yes, sir. They would clean up the facility as well.
I second the motion.
All in favor? It's unanimous, Mayor. Next on the agenda is proposed agreement with the City of Midville to contract for law enforcement services.
On Friday, we received a proposed contract for law enforcement services with the City of Midville. I think there's still a number of questions about it. We may need to work those out before we ask the board to approve an agreement. We have representatives from the Sheriff's Office here. You may want to speak toward it. But, I think there are a couple of questions that were still unresolved, and it's been a hectic couple of days trying to deal with everything else on the agenda, let alone to resolve these issues.
I would think we need to table this until we can get some further information and some numbers. I know that Austin, I think, said he'd been working on it for 2 weeks, but we've only had it for a couple of days. So my suggestion would be to table it at least until maybe when we have our call meeting next week.
And next week's a joint meeting, though, right?
Right, we have invited the school board to sit in with us, but we can't have 2 items on the agenda.
Okay, we'll just table that till next week.
Lee, is there anything that when we are going over this evaluation, I think some of you all need to be at that meeting when we have our meeting. So some of the things we don't know that you all can enlighten us on, okay? Okay, thank you.
All right, next on the agenda is information and reports, and if anybody signed up on the sign-up sheet. Amy Harrington? Okay. Chief Matthews, he still here? He's on gone.
He just went out.
Who else is in here?
I think they're all gone.
Chief, you got anything? Nothing. Michael? All right, at this time, we'll go into, executive session. Can I get a motion? Okay,
I make a motion, we go into executive session for, property and also for litigation.
I'll second the motion.
all in favor? Unanimous, Murray.
When is that call meeting?
Oh, the 22nd.
That's at 1 o'clock, but it's not in here,
We'll be in the,
where the development.
right where they are.
Push on
We got a pushing there.
And this changed from 7 to
9.
9. The county is responsible for 9.
No, for 5.
matters discussed. One, real estate, one litigation. No final action was taken on either of those. You need a motion from one of your commissioners to allow you to sign an affidavit to that effect.
Also move.
All in favor? It's unanimous, Murray. Anything else?
No other business.
Meeting adjourned.